So round 2. Okay, we're at round 2. What superhero deserves an R-rated film? And we're gonna start now with you, actually, Sean.
Cool.
So we're moving down the line, all right? And we're going right about now.
Okay. So I went with Grifter, more so Team 7. For those that don't know Grifter, he's kind of a Punisher-esque superhero, but he's a superhero. He's from the Wildstorm universe, which is kind of like hyper-violent DC. That's the best way I can describe it. He's got psychic powers. Team 7 is like this Black Ops team that he was a part of, and in the New 52 continuity, which is what I would kind of use this film for, you have a lot of characters that are popular and could really kind of bolster as a supporting cast. Yeah.
All right.
The character I picked was Moon Knight, and I picked him because he's virtually unknown. A lot of these guys, you've seen him before, you know what it is, and it's like, okay, I was gonna go with Punisher, but we've seen Punisher so many times. He's already gonna be in Daredevil season 2, so why not go with something straight out of left field? Moon Knight, because he's so weird, he's so unique in of his own character. He has dissociative identity disorder. He's a vigilante, comes out at night like Batman, but not like Batman. Hyper-violent if you read the comics. So yeah, that's the reason why I chose him.
Yeah, I chose Constantine because Constantine interacts with a lot of the magical entities in the DC universe, and I feel like the magical side of DC isn't as explored or given credit as much as the scientific part of DC.
All right.
Yeah, kill each other.
I'm going to agree with your point that they're definitely not building on the magic point as much, especially with the movies that they've announced so far, because it looks like they're going to go with a more traditional Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
So you really only have the Shazam movie. My problem with it really is that Constantine as a character, while I agree could very easily have an R-rated movie, trying to expand that into the rest of the mystical end of DC's works, with the exception of the Vertigo titles like Swamp Thing and Sandman, and even then Sandman is very disconnected to the rest of the DCU. He doesn't necessarily need an R rating. We had that horrible Keanu Reeves Constantine movie, which isn't a bad movie, it's just a bad Constantine movie.
Exactly.
So we know that the character himself doesn't really need an R rating. My big thing is that a lot of his really good arcs, the one where he gets cancer, a lot of the later stuff, Brian Azzarello's one where he's in prison, he's a great character, but I think he's a character more fit for TV, like his canceled show. For a movie, him as a character, he's like a con man not grifter like my character, grifter like con man.
Well, grifter
kind of
is a con man too.
Well, yeah, he's that too. I feel like he doesn't play himself as well, personally to a movie.
No.
If you were to do, say, Swamp Thing, well, not Swamp Thing, he had a bad movie, but Justice League Dark, like, yeah, sure, maybe that would be a really good argument. But Constantine himself, I feel like he's not dynamic enough to hold his own film, as noted by the heavy edits of the Keanu Reeves movie. As for Moon Knight, I don't think that he's a bad character, but I do think that he's really difficult to portray on screen. Part of the big thing is with his dissociative identity disorder is
nice
that
pronunciation.
Yeah, I try. Is that the main personalities he interacts with are Captain America, Wolverine, Echo, and Spider-Man. So Spider-Man and Captain America would be totally easy to do because Marvel has the rights to them. They do not have the right to Wolverine. There's no character quite like Wolverine for him to kind of banter with himself with. And Echo is virtually unknown to people that don't read comics.
Right. Well, to counter that argument...
Grifter and Team 7, because I'm just not going to let you get a word in edgewise. The team has Amanda Waller, who you'll see in the Suicide Squad movie, so it ties into the already established DC continuity movie timeline that they're going to attempt to get off the ground, please. You have Dinah Lance, also known as Black Canary. You have Slade Wilson, Deathstroke. Steve Trevor is in the comics, but depending on how they do that Wonder Woman movie, he might be really old and you might not be able to use him.
Who cares about Steve Trevor?
But you have Mr. Majestic, who's kind of Superman, but not.
That's a great explanation.
He's your flying brick. He flies around, super speed, super strength.
Alright, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to cut you off because
Yeah,
you got like 6 minutes left on time. I'm trying to get this point. Alright, I just want to start off. Team 7 is Suicide Squad, basically. I don't think the general audience is going to go for it because the general audience is already hyper excited about Suicide Squad itself. Because the first line that you see when you're trying to learn about Team 7 is the 7th incarnation of of a military squad, basically. That's Suicide Squad without powers. And then with Moon Knight, he's Batman.
Okay, now it's time to cut. No, time to cut everybody off. Time to cut everybody off. I have to speak now. I have to speak now. I have to speak now. Okay,
wait. Is your comment on top of what you just said about what he said?
Yeah.
Okay, let me finish that thing and then come to
because
the
yes, Moon Knight does have his own identity, but at a certain point in his origin, yes, he was a mercenary. Yes, he did get his powers through being a mercenary. But then when he went to actually become a crime fighter, it just seemed so Batman-esque because his cover was him being a millionaire.
But his costume's white.
And is short, but he still sulks at night on top of rooftops.
I want to hear Michael's point on what you're saying.
To counteract your point first, because you angered me.
You woke the beast. You woke the beast, man.
You angered me. He's not Batman at all. Moon Knight will kill somebody. He has ripped people's ears off, cut people's ears off, carved moon-shaped little symbols into people's foreheads to appease his god. And yes, the original personalities of Moon Knight were Stephen Grant, Jake Lockley, and Mark Spector. Yes, those personalities did come in, but not till way, way later. We don't need those Captain America, Spider-Man, Wolverine. Originally, to give some context, Moon Knight showed up in Werewolf by Night, which is a completely unrelated property, but it's cool because you get your foothold in horror. And it's something really, really cool to have this vigilante with no superpowers going up against a werewolf. I think that's unique in of itself. And yes, you could get something like that from Constantine, but the problem with that is that you have to spend the whole movie building up the villain so that Constantine can trick him and do what he does. That's what Constantine does.
But how would a Moon Knight fighting a werewolf be different from a Batman movie where he fights Killer Croc?
That would be
Either
different.
way, it's like...
Because of the three different personalities, because Moon Knight is a mercenary. Batman... I gave you your chance to speak. Moon Knight is a mercenary. Batman has never been nowhere near close to such a thing. He's not a mercenary.
Earth 2. I'm sorry.
Anyway, now he's a mercenary. Moon Knight, like I said, he will beat and maim the crap out of people. With Batman, it's frowned upon. With his disciples, he tries to steer them in a clear direction with that. Moon Knight has no disciples. Has none of that. He has the rich guy persona, but that died a long time ago. He has various personalities that come through and leave. And that's very interesting. You have never seen a character like Moon Knight. You've never seen a character with
but you have. The movie was called Black Swan. It wasn't a superhero movie, but you still got the disassociative thing. And if it's not Mila Kunis, I'm not going to care as much.
My counteractor to that is Natalie Portman is a chick, and Moon Knight is this big, brawling, beefy guy
that's just sexist. But hold on. I want to dig into your Team 7 is Suicide Squad. I'll agree that you have the same basic premise in that government-sponsored team, but the difference is that for Team 7 in particular, it's kind of a prequel series to this established DC universe, much in the way the New 52 comic book was. You can go read it. It's like 8 issues long.
Yeah,
it wasn't popular. Not because of the characters. As I've said, the characters in it were popular, just the book itself wasn't. But it shows you how these characters get to these points. One of the things that makes the Suicide Squad movie seem so likable is it's like you're following the bad guys. This is a case where you're not following the bad guys. You're following the good guys and kind of showing how they get shaped. Like, I think that the character of Amanda Waller is really dynamic, and I don't think how you can go into the Suicide Squad movie going, how could she be okay with just blowing up these people's brains? I mean, like, yeah, they're criminals, but, like, that's murder. Like, a Team 7 movie could show, like, how she adopts this, kind of nihilistic view of, what it takes to get anything done. The character of Grifter, I think, is, who would be kind of my lead-ish, because I think that he's a really fun character. I think that, with the exception of Moon Knight has this I will admit, has this clear kind of look to him that is very, very Batman-ish based on the fact that he just has the cape and skulky. More Robin-like, he's got the stick. But, like... Grifter just wears a bandana over his face and runs around with guns.
Which you could argue is kind of stupid.
You could argue it's kind of stupid, but it looks really cool in a really
comic book. Hold up, it looks really cool in a comic book. A guy with a do-rag over his face You know,
live
it-
action
like,
might look pretty cool too. But there's also one thing that you guys aren't thinking about, and that is box office. Because if one thing has gotten people in the box office before, it's Paranormal Activity, magic stuff. So if you involve the Constantine universe going into Justice League Dark, even in Suicide Squad, they're incorporating magic. So
Well, you got Enchantress.
Yeah,
But
you
to
have
say
Enchantress.
something
So
really
if
quick,
you-
it takes time to build all of that up, especially in a
Yeah, of course it
Constantine
takes time.
movie.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah, I'm not saying
Moon
all
Knight,
in one movie.
You don't
probably
need
multiple
it. You don't need. It's so
but you have to think
quick
about,
to
you have to think about the
establish.
general audience. Because I'm in high school. I know
Right.
what the general audience is.
Right.
Most of the kids in my
Okay,
class.
so who do
no,
you
no,
think?
no,
Hold on. No. Hold on. I got this.
Oh.
The DC universe, the DC cinematic universe is very dark and gritty. But it's different from Marvel. Marvel has this very good
I know, it
cinematic
just made
system
me
where
laugh.
they
That was a
take
great line.
where they take movie genres and just inject a superhero into it. Ant-Man is a heist movie with a superhero fight tacked on at the end. Thor's a sci-fi movie. DC hasn't figured that out yet. DC is still very
To
much
throw something
in the vein
in really
of
quick, neither
superhero
is something you
movies.
guys really have. It's a supporting cast. My character has a whole bunch of supporting cast members within his own comic verse that he doesn't need, but they add on to the
Mine's
flavor
a
of the
team
movie.
movie. It's inherently a supporting
I'm
cast.
glad I got to say
All
that.
in one breath.
Woo!
Pound on that.
Woo!
Wow.
Yes.
I wanted to finish, but they double teamed on me.
Yeah.
I didn't even get to my
We
point.
weren't like you get more points.
No, serious.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
I
you had some points. I was like, oh no, I
No,
can't let
I
him
don't
get.
feel. I barely talked.
You was talking crazy.
know.
I had to get up
Wow,
in
you
there.
guys. I mean,
I was letting you tear down Moon Knight. That was fine.
there was that was interesting actually. It was really interesting for this particular round. The thing I actually really enjoyed for myself hearing it, and even from your choices from the jump when you sent me your answers. I'm not that familiar with these characters,
Right.
So it was like it's the definition of impartial because I was like, wow,
Right.
what a thing. But okay, going into some of the things that helped to bring me to my decision ultimately. You guys kind of just started off with you gave me a really good synopsis as to who Grifter was, and then obviously there was a bit of a back and forth with you guys where you pretty much were like, it's
This is
more or less
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I was like, okay,
And
I know
it's
that
not Suicide Squad.
it's not. Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta go back. I was like,
That's
no,
why
it's
I didn't say
Yeah,
nothing.
no,
I was like, yo,
definitely not.
I can't.
and the jury's out for the rating of what Suicide Squad is going to be because I don't know if it's PG-13 or R yet. They didn't decide.
Right,
It's
they didn't
still
say it.
not rated. But then you guys, I mean, even in part of your argument, but also what you guys were mentioning before, I mean, there was a Constantine movie before.
Yeah.
And I also just kind of jumped into, I'm being my own fact checker right now. And the last one with Keanu Reeves was R-rated. And ultimately the question is, what superheroes deserves an R-rated movie? And ultimately, I think that if anything, Constantine would be a better choice as to what the superhero movie needs a redemption.
An
R-rated
redemption.
redemption. Sorry, because I feel like you
R-rated
made the point
redemption.
about how it wasn't a bad movie so much it was a bad Constantine movie. And it being a bad Constantine movie, I mean, gives the idea that, it should definitely have something down the line, but ultimately they did do justice by it giving it an R rating.
Oh,
Maybe it
throwing
wasn't
off your
delivered correctly by
equilibrium.
Keanu, so that kind of knocked you out with the Constantine. With Grifter and Moon Knight, and I'm gonna put all my cards out here. I was on the side of Grifter and Team 7, and I still am on in terms of it being a movie I'd prefer to see. But the things you were saying about Moon Knight and his like weirdness and the what the blood is and whatever thing,
Yeah.
I don't think I heard enough about. It's implied, but I didn't hear enough as to why Grifter, like what his content really entails that makes him need a rated R movie.
That's why I wrote
Because
it all down.
based on the description, my head, mind you, being less familiar with him, I know it's not this. Don't worry, but I'm seeing like a G.I. Joe militant kind of thing. I know it's not that, but at the same time, I don't know what it actually is. Whereas Moon Knight, I wouldn't want to see that movie. I actually wouldn't. Because I'm hearing all the details. I'm like, I don't want to see that movie. But taking into consideration the fact that I accepted these answers altogether, taking into consideration the fact that it would be marketed well, I'm assuming that they'd put their best writers on it, and it would be a movie that people would want to see. You gave me the best argument as to why it deserves an R rating, like an R-rated movie. So I do give it to Michael. Michael, you do get the next point. So congratulations, Michael, on that. We do have 2 more rounds, so let's just jump right into it.